Hey, what's up guys, this is Kobe of Card Games, and today we're going to be doing a second place Altergeist deck profile. I recently did a remote duel tourney, I believe last week, and I came second place with this deck. This deck is prominently known as one of the most hated decks in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, mainly due to how much of a menace it was during 2019, and the fact that people just typically don't like playing against control decks like these, that main deck a lot of trap cards. But yeah, this deck was a lot of fun for me to play, and I had a lot of fun in the tourney. I believe I won 2 out of the 3 rounds. It was a very small tourney. Some pretty good decks there, though, because it was like practice for the YCS. And yeah, so this is the deck I played. A few things to go over before I start. One, the extra deck isn't finished. It is 14 and not 15, sadly. Mainly because I couldn't pick up an Altergeist Memory Gunt before the tourney. So just to let you know that if you were to play this deck, I would recommend putting in a Memory Gunt. And another thing to preface is the main deck is semi-budget, so there are a few cards in here that I would swap, and I'm going to go through which ones I would swap and for what cards I would swap them with. So let's get to the main deck. So for the main deck, we play 3 copies of Altergeist Marionetta. Altergeist Marionetta is a very good card in this deck, mainly due to the fact that when it's normal summoned, you can set one Altergeist trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. And it has a second effect which can typically come up, which allows you to target an Altergeist card you control and any Altergeist monster in your grave, send the card on your field to the grave, and then special the monster from your graveyard. So essentially, you can set traps, and that effect can't be ashed, and it can also swap cards on your field for new bodies from the graveyard, which can help you to go into new plays. Then we play, for the next Altergeist, we play 3 copies of Altergeist Meluseek, otherwise known as Mr. Kick Me in the Face, as Harvey likes to call him. But yeah, Meluseek is a very annoying card because it has an effect that allows it to attack directly, regardless of anything. So even if your opponent has like a full board, you could just attack directly with this card and deal 500. And then it has an effect where if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you could target one card your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. And then if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add any Altergeist monster from your deck to your hand. So what you would typically do is you'd go normal summon Meluseek, attack directly, effect a Meluseek, send something, and then you'd link this into either Linkariba or Armorage, because then you have a body on field and you get a new monster, and then you can pair it with what you have in your hand. So yeah, this card's very annoying, and it allowed me to actually win a lot of games with some of the other cards I play. Then we play probably the best Altergeist in the main deck, Altergeist Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker has an effect where if a trap card was activated, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then if this card is special summoned, you can special summon one Altergeist monster from your deck in defense position except itself, but it locks you into Altergeist monsters. This card is amazing because being able to activate a trap, such as spoofing, so you could go spoofing effect to shuffle in an Altergeist, search this, or you could literally shuffle this, search it back again, and then trigger it because a trap was activated. Because it's not when the trap is activated, it's if a trap was activated. So it acts upon the resolution of the trap activating, which is really good. And you could basically special this, and then you can special Silk to get a bounce, or depending on what kind of state in the game you're in, you could just like summon any Altergeist to help you out. It's a really good card. Then we play 2 copies of Altergeist Silk, or Silkwitus, but Silk is just, an easier way of saying it. Silkwitus has an effect where, quick effect, you can return any other Altergeist card you control to your hand and then target a card your opponent controls and return it to your hand. If this card is, and it has an effect where if it's sent from the field to the grave, you can target any Altergeist trap in your grave and add that back to your hand. And then, obviously, you compare this with Multi-Faker, so you summon Multi-Faker, summon this from the deck, and then this is an interruption because it's a bounce. It's just such a good card. And this card, you always play this at 2. I think 3 is just too bricky, and it's just natural with this deck. And then the one brick that you usually don't want to see is one Altergeist Conquery. Conquery has an effect where if your opponent's monster declares an attack and you control any Altergeist card, you can special it from your hand, negate the attack, and then if it's specialed, you can target any face-up card your opponent controls, and as long as that card and this card are on the field, that card that you targeted is negated. So yeah, this card is very good to have going first, because obviously if your opponent, if it's in your hand and your opponent attacks, you can just go conk, negate the attack, and yeah, it's pretty good. And then for the last Altergeist in the main, we play 1 Altergeist Pukari. This is one of the newer ones that came out in Brothers of Legend, and this card is amazing. So basically, if you were to link summon an Altergeist Link monster with a monster that's on your field, you can use this as a link material from your hand, and that's broken. And you can, it's so cool because like you can go Hextia turn 1, which gives you an Omni negate, well, a spell trap negate. And then it has an effect, it's a once per duel effect, this one, where it can add it back to your hand if it's used as link material. So essentially, if you have Meluseek and Pukari in hand, you can link them both, make Hextia, and then you get a search off Meluseek, and then you get to add this back to your hand. So it's just a really good card. And then for the hand traps in this deck, we play 2 Ash. Ash kind of, like, underperformed. It's not that good, this format, but, like, it was good when I needed it. And then we played this as well. We played the Gamma package. The Gamma package is amazing at the minute because like Gamma is just one of the best hand traps, and I think it's going to remain this way for this format because obviously there's a lot of monster effects going off in this format. Right, for the spells, we play 3 Pot of Duality. This is a card I do recommend swapping for Pot of Extravagance if your budget allows it, because Extravagance is just so much better because Duality's restriction, where it says you can't special summon for this turn, does really hurt this deck because like if you excavate a Meluseek, you can't link it into Linkuriboh or anything in the same turn because obviously a Link Summon is a special summon. And then for the last 2 spells of the deck, we play 2 Mystic Mine. This is for if we get Put going second, and Mystic Mine Meluseek basically won me a game. Because being able to just mine your opponent, normal Meluseek, and just attack and like not even have to send cards, just keep beating them down while they can't even out it. Because like without side deck cards, they usually just can't out it. And then there's a lot of traps in this deck, so I'm going to be kind of quick with this. We play 2 Protocol and 1 Manifestation. These are the only Altergeist traps we play. Protocol basically says that when it's on the field, Altergeist cards and effects can't be negated, ones that are on your field anyway. And it can negate a monster effect by sending a face-up Altergeist card that you control to the graveyard. And then this is basically Call of the Haunted for Altergeist, and it has a second effect where you can banish it, target an Altergeist trap in your grave, and add it to your hand. So there is a lot of recursion with all of these cards. They basically, they cycle back through each other. And then for the card that sadly doesn't have Altergeist in its name, Personal Spoofing, this is a soft once per turn continuous trap that allows you to shuffle any Altergeist card from your hand or field into the deck and search any Altergeist monster. So yeah, this card is very good. Obviously, seeing it, being able to get your Meluseek and make it live instantly is amazing. Then for generic traps, we play 2D Barrier because it's really good this format. 2 Torrential, just an amazing board wipe. 3 Strike, such a good card that's not once per turn. And then Double Judgment for if they have back row hate, and then a Storm Duster. So yeah, you could actually play Dogma Punishment in this deck, but obviously, like, you just need some really good target. I don't have many good targets at the minute, but I'm probably going to be experimenting. Then for the extra, we play 1 Salamangreat Almirage. Almirage is just a good link 1 to link your Meluseek. Same for Linkuriboh, and Linkuriboh's battle effect can come up. And then for the Altergeist links, we play triple Hextia. Hextia is a spell trap negate if it tributes an Altergeist monster it points to, and it gains the attack of all Altergeist monsters it points to as well. So it's a very good card. And then for the only other Altergeist monster in the extra deck currently is Prime Banshee. Prime Banshee you don't usually go into that much, but Prime Banshee allows you to quick effect, tribute another Altergeist monster, and special summon any Altergeist monster from your deck to a zone it points to. And Hextia and Prime Banshee have graveyard effects. Hextia, if it's sent to the grave, adds any Altergeist card from deck to hand. And then if this is sent to the graveyard, you can target an Altergeist card in your grave and add that to your hand. And then for the rest of the stuff, we play 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and 1 Nightmare Unicorn. The Nightmares are just really good generic outs to most cards that your opponent has. Cerberus being able to get rid of a special summon monster in the main zone, Unicorn being able to shuffle something back, and Phoenix is just good for back row. Then we play a few Topologics, because obviously this is semi-budget. We play Trisbane, Zeroboros, and Bomber Dragon. These guys did not come up at all, I'm just going to say, but it's just good to have them there in the extra. And then we play Borosword. Borosword is an amazing way to OTK with this deck, because you do need some way to get to an OTK. And then we play the 1 Cyframe Lord Omega for if we get if we Gamma during our turn. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry if I rushed it. It's because obviously I've got a few things I do need to sort out. But yeah, this deck is very fun, and it's not, mine isn't exactly complete. But when I do finish it properly, I'm going to be very happy to show it off, because at the minute, I'm really enjoying this deck. And I can't really say the same for my opponents, because not many people do like control decks. But yeah, this deck is a lot of fun to play, and if you do like control decks, then definitely give this deck a shout, because this deck can do bits. And I feel like it's kind of like pretty good at the minute, against some of the meta decks. I feel like it actually has a bit of a competitive advantage. Obviously, it's not like the best, but like, you know, it can do some bits, and I'd like to see how it can perform against the other decks in a minute. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Peace.